Hi guys, good morning all. So today, as a part of API testing learning, so we will learn about web URL. Okay, so we will completely learn about what is web URL, how we need to write the syntax, what is the parameter of the web URL, then what is the purpose of each parameter in the web URL. Okay, so we will learn today. So you can able to see my screen, right? Can anyone confirm?
Yes, it's visible. And
Uh-huh.
ma'am, today's first day only, no?
This is second day. Um, So yesterday we just discussed about what is API, how it works. Okay. Don't worry, I will brush it up. Okay. I will just give a brief introduction about that at the end of the session. Okay. So today's agenda is what is web URL. Uh, then we will learn about syntax of the web URL. Parameter of web URL. What is the purpose of each parameter in web URL? Okay. So we will learn completely about this. Okay. So web URL. So web URL is the major parameter to access any web application. Okay. So web URL is the major uh, parameter to access any web application. Okay, this is the major parameter to access any web application. Okay, so how? So let me go back to the slide and read out the definition of the web URL. Okay. Okay. So web URL means web uniform resource location. Uniquely identifies the specific web resource inside the web application. Okay. So every web application should have its unique address in the form of URL. Okay. So URL is one and only way to access any web application via browser. Okay. So let's take an example of like say suppose here for example here the person is okay. Let me take an example of you guys name. How's that? Okay. So Devayani is there, Gaurav is there, Peter is there, Ramanjanaya is there, Vivek is there. Okay. So for example, if you want to reach your home, okay, so we have to specify exact particular address of your home, right? Okay. For example, if I want to reach to the Gaurav home, okay. So if I want to go to the Gaurav home, I have to write particular address of the Gaurav. So then only I will reach to the Gaurav home. Okay, so the same way, okay, if I want to access any particular web application, we have to specify unique address in the form of URL. Okay, address we need to specify. For example, if you want to open the Facebook, okay, for the Facebook only we are providing one address. Or we are specifying, for example, when we are to reach our home, we will be specify particular address, right? Okay, this area, this ward, and this pin code, like that we will specify specific address to reach our home. Okay, so in the same way we have to specify unique address in the form of URL to access any of the web application. Okay, this is the common basic thing. I think you guys are aware of it. Okay. Mhm. Okay, so maximum number of character is in the URL is 200. Okay, so 200 is the maximum character. If you're writing more than that also means the server will not accept that. Okay, maximum number of the character is 200. So syntax of the web URL. So now we will look into the syntax. Okay, the syntax should be first is the protocol, then a semicolon, then double slash, then domain name we have to specify, and port number we have to specify, and resource path, and query string, and fragment id. Okay, so till this resource path also we will be writing sometime, and sometime if you need some extra information to access any of the particular web application means we will be making use of query string and fragment id also. Okay, so for example here http double slash, and localhost is my domain name, and double eight is my port number. And in this application, in this localhost application, I'm accessing index.php resource. Okay. Okay. So okay, so here also http semicolon and google.com is my domain name, and in that I'm specifying particular what is this resource and the query string. Okay, here I'm specifying query string. Okay, so instead of here what I'm doing, instead of domain name I'm writing IP address. Okay, after that resource and query string. Okay, we will understand this how to write this domain name here, how to write this port number, how to write the resource here, how to write this IP address. Okay, instead of domain name we have written IP address and query string. These are all the things we will understand. Okay. Okay, now okay, let me go back to the slide and we will understand this thing with a general example. Okay. Okay, let's try to understand the syntax of web URL with a general example. Okay, this is the general example now. So let's take an example. There is a street. Okay, just give attention and listen what I'm telling. Okay, so this is a street. Okay, so in this street there are so many apartments we have. Okay, apartment 1, apartment 2, apartment 2, then apartment 3, apartment 4. Okay, there's so many apartments. Just for example, like example sake, I'm just taking a 4 apartment, but there are so many apartment. Okay, so inside the apartment we have so many flats. Okay, in this apartment 1 we have a flat 1, flat 2, and in this apartment too we have a flat 1 and flat 2 and flat 3, and in this apartment we have a flat 1, and in this apartment we have a flat 1, flat 2, flat 3 and flat 4. Okay, so after that in each apartment also we have a person. Okay, in the flat 1 we have a 3 persons, in the flat 2 we have a person 1, in this apartment we have 4 persons, in this apartment person 1 person, and in this apartment we have 2 persons. Okay, like this. Okay, so now the question is, if I want to identify, okay, any of the particular somebody, if I want to identify somebody present in the flat number 1, okay, how would I write the address? Okay, that is the question now. Okay, So say suppose I want to identify the person P2, okay, this person P2 in the who is present in the flat number 1, okay, who is present in the flat number 1, okay. So now how I will write the address. Mm, 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 mm. This is wrong. Hmm. Okay, so hmm. So this is here. So this remember this, okay. Protocol, domain name, port number, resource path, okay. Protocol, domain name, port number, resource path. So now for this general example, I will write, okay. So I want to identify the person who is present in the flat number 1. Which person in 3 persons I need to identify P2, okay. How I will write, okay, address and semicolon double slash, okay. So I need to go to the apartment 1, okay. Okay, I will reach the apartment 1, okay. After reaching the apartment 1, I need to go to the flat number 1, correct. Hmm? Okay, then I will go to the flat number 1, okay. After going to the flat number 1, I need to identify the which person, P2 person, okay. Okay, let me write that, okay. So now I identified P2 person who is present in flat number 1 and who is present in the apartment 2, sorry, apartment 1, okay. So now tell me, how would I identify the person who is present in the apartment 2 and who is present in the flat number 1, and I need to identify the P4 person who is present in the flat number 1 and in the apartment 2. I need to identify this person. Tell me the syntax. Mm, quick. Mm, mm-hmm. What's that? Okay, address, apartment 1. Okay. Okay, address, semicolon, apartment. Okay, apartment 2. Yeah. Okay, very good. Okay. Yeah. So, address, double slash, apartment 2, F2, semicolon, P4. Okay. So, okay, like this way we are identifying the who is like particular person who is present in the particular flat and particular apartment, okay. So this is the single line address, okay. So there are 4 apartment are there to identify specific apartment either, okay. And one more thing, okay. So there are 4 apartment, okay. To identify the specific apartment, what we are doing here, okay, address, semicolon, double slash, apartment 1, apartment 2, like that. Apartment number also we are specifying, okay. Apartment name we are specifying, okay. So instead of apartment name, I can also specify apartment ID also, okay. So are you guys observing here? Okay, along with the name, I'm also specifying this apartment IDs 1 to 1, 1 to 2, okay, 1 to 3, 1 to 4, like that, okay. Okay, now tell me how you will, instead of apartment name, make use of that apartment ID and tell me the address. Hmm. Make use of the apartment ID and tell me the address. Address. Okay. Address. Okay. 22. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes. Correct. Yes. Peter correct. Akshay correct. And Ramanjana. Okay. You're not right. Okay. Correct. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Instead of that, we are making use of double slash. And okay. Let me take a 1 to 1 and this 1 to 2. Mm-mm. And F2. Then is that F1? Okay, F1 and then P4. Okay. Hmm. Okay. So this is how, with respect to general example, this is how we are identifying the particular apartment and inside that particular flat and inside that particular person. Okay. So just compare this with this now. Okay. So here also we are doing the same. Okay. So this is HTTP. Okay. This is a protocol. Okay. And the domain name, port number, if the port number present, okay, port number and particular resource, okay, inside the web application particular resource. And here, okay, http semicolon double slash, okay, here instead of the domain name we are specifying the IP address, okay, to access the application. Okay, so we'll learn it. So now, okay, so now, mm, okay, so now, okay, so you got a clear idea that how to identify the particular person inside the company, sorry, inside the apartment. Okay, so you know like how to travels inside the apartment, how to travels inside the flat, and how to identify the somebody who is present in the particular flat. Okay, so now the question is, okay, what happens when you type the URL path? What happens internally? Okay, so now internally it is going to create one request. Okay, when you're typing like this, okay, let's take you're typing like this. Okay. Mm. Like this you're typing address semicolon double slash apartment apartment 1 colon and F1 slash P2. Okay, so when you're typing like this, what it do? When you're typing like this URL, internally it is going to create one request. Okay, it is going to create one request. Okay, it contains to and from. Okay, when you're typing this address in the browser, internally it is going to create one request. It contains to and from. Okay, this is the protocol of the address. Okay, so for example, see, if you want to send postal, okay, if you want to send an information via postal, okay, so to and from is mandatory, right? Without to and from, how you will send the post to some one place to another place? Okay, this is a mandatory things, right? So this is the protocol of the address. Okay, to like in the to where to go, like where this request has to go, that we have specified. Okay, then in the from what you will receive, where it's come from, and information about the whatever the request we sent, and information about that in the response format you will be getting it. Okay, so but just generally you think that when you're typing some address like this inside the browser, internally it is going to create one request. Okay, that is, it contains to and from detail. Okay, so where it has to go and after going this request, okay, what is the response in back, what is the content information we are getting back. Okay, this is the protocol of the address. Protocol is nothing but rules of the address. Okay, yes, address it should contain to and from. Otherwise, take an example. Generally you can first you relate it with the generally. Okay, so when you're sending some post, okay, if you want to send some information via postal, okay, without to and from, it is a mandatory, it is not possible to send the information to from one place to another place only, correct? Okay, this is how. So when you're sending some request, okay, when you're sending some address, okay, so to internally it is going to create one request in the form of like it content to and from. Okay, so then in the two, okay, just with respect to general example I'm writing here. Okay, so in the two, what it contains, okay, path, street, apartment, flat, and resource. Means in the two it contains, okay, what exactly we are requesting. Okay, what exactly we are requesting. Yes, we are providing path, we are providing street, okay, and apartment and flat number and resource name. Okay, yes, we have to go to this particular request, we have to get the response from this particular request. Okay, so after we are specifying this in the two, after going the request, in response we are getting name and contact number of this person. For example, here this we are typing in the URL. Okay, so we are specifying all this information, correct? Okay, so yes, address and apartment and flat number 1, flat number 2. Okay, so this address is going and this is identifying the particular person who is present in the flat number 1, and in the response back, it it is getting name and contact number of this particular person. Okay, this is the protocol of the address. Okay, this is with respect to general example. Okay, this is understood how it is working internally. Hmm? Here we are typing the address and it is going and it is identifying one particular person, and in response back to that request, okay, name and contact number we are receiving. Okay, so this to and from is mandatory here. When we are typing some request in the browser, internally it will create. Okay, browser will create internally to and from. Okay, understood basic idea? Clear, guys? Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you. Okay. Hmm. So now, okay. Okay, don't get confused. Okay, so now we were understanding with respect to general example. Okay, here by taking apartment, apartment ID, flat, and person like this. Okay, and here also we will be understanding with the general example. See, when we are writing this apartment one like this and all general example, so internally how it works. Okay, with respect to general example. Okay, so now let me come back to my web application. Okay, so now what I'm doing is, okay, instead of apartment, instead of street, okay, here I'm specifying it as a street. Okay, here I'm specifying it as a street. Okay, instead of street, okay, I will take it as a network. Okay, for example, here I will take it as a network. Okay, and instead of apartment, okay, I will take it as a system, computer, or server. Okay, okay, let me take. Okay, here I will take it as a computer or server or anything it may be. Hmm. Okay, so instead of flat, I will take it as a web application. Okay, okay, so I will take it as a web application here. This is my web application. Here I have two web application. Okay, so instead of person, I will take it as a resource. Okay, let me take one resource and let me take another resource. Here one resource and here one resource. Okay, so name this resource like login login.html and your home.html. Okay, here maybe contact or about. Okay, so this is the resources. Okay, and this is the network now. Okay, so now understand it. Okay, so instead of street, okay, here I was specifying as a street. Okay, so here I was specifying as a street. Instead of street, I'm taking it as a network. Okay, instead of apartment, okay, instead of apartment, I'm taking it as a server. Okay, computer or a system. Okay, instead of flat, okay, I'm taking it as a web application. Okay, let me take the web application as a facebook.com. mm, facebook.com and here gmail.com and here google.com. Okay, so now Hmm. Okay, so and instead of the person, I'm taking it as a resource. Okay, so inside the Facebook, we will be having different resources, like how we will be having inside the flat, how we will be having different person. So the same way, inside the Facebook, we'll be having different resource. Okay, so resource is nothing but different pages. Okay, different future inside the application. Okay, maybe after launching the Facebook, okay, inside you will be getting many pages, right? Like many resources. That is what resource. Okay, you'll be getting a home page, you'll be getting the what is that setting page, you'll be getting the post page, and you'll be getting the so many pages you will be getting inside of it, right? So first you will be getting the login page of the Facebook, then after that you will be getting the home page, after that you will be getting a about page, after that setting page. There's so many pages inside the so many feature inside that, right? So that is nothing but resource. Okay, so for example, if you taken a a Gmail example, okay, so login is a one resource. After that, after the login, after going inside the Gmail, inbox is one resource. Okay, and sent item is one resource, and draft is one resource. Okay, compose mail is one resource. So this is what, okay, different features, okay, different functionality which is present inside the web application is nothing but resource. Okay, so if you want to access any particular resource means you need to specify that resource name in the URL. Okay, so now we are going to write the URL in the browser. So when you type this URL, it is going to create one request. Okay, you guys know that, right? So this is what happened here also. So when we are entering some request, it is internally going, and in the browser it is creating one request like this. Okay, when you're writing some address like this, so it is internally going and creating request like this. In the same way, okay, when you're typing the when you're typing the URL in the browser, it is going to create a request. Okay, in this request all the information will be present, like to and from. Okay, so with respect to web application, instead of to, we are considering it as a header of the request. Okay, instead of from. Okay, we are considering it as a body. Okay, so like this, because now with respect to technically we are speaking, not in the general example. Okay, here instead of to, we are taking it as a header, and instead of from, we are taking it as a body. Okay, so here where it has to go, which request it has to go, where it all the details will be specified here. Here in response, what we are getting, what is the information we are getting. Okay, so this is a general example what happens internally when you're typing any of the URL in the browser. What it happens internally, it is internally the browser is going and it is internally creating one request. Okay, so now mm, okay, so now we will understand how it will happens. Okay, okay. Hmm. Okay, definition of the URL. It is used to identify specific web resource inside the web application via network. Okay, so this is my network. Okay, and this is my network. Inside the network, there are so many applications. There are so many servers out there. Correct. There are so many uh, application we have installed. Okay, so for example, if I need to access any one particular application in this, okay, okay, in the network there are so many here we have installed one application, here we have installed two application. Okay, so but I need to access any one particular web application. Okay, what you will do, what you will follow. Mhm. So this is the network. Okay, so in the network we have a four computers. Okay, this is one computer, or we have a four computer, or we have a four server, or we have a four system. Okay, so in the computer what we have done, so in the computer, in this computer we have one application we have installed. Okay, so in this computer or in this server we have installed two application, that is google.com and gmail. Okay, and this we have installed one. Okay, so now what happens when you're typing some request here. Okay, say this is the client, this is the client machine. Okay, this is the client machine. So in the client machine what we are doing, we are entering the URL. Okay, so what we are following, http double slash facebook.com, port number, and particular resource which I want to access now. Okay, so after that what happens here, when we are entering the URL like this, okay, immediately the browser is responsible to create a one request like this. Okay, so this is, it contains header and a body. Okay, internally it happens. Okay, when we are entering this URL, it internally it will create like this. Okay, it contains a header and a body. Okay, so it will create a request. Okay, this request header contains URL and which domain we have to go. Okay, full URL and which domain we have to particularly we have to identify. Okay, so after entering like this, it is going to create the request like this, and it is going to accessing the particular application first, and after that whatever the resource we are specifying, it is going to the particular resource. Okay. After it is going to the particular resource, in response, it is getting the back the response. Okay. So this is the HTTP request. This we called as a HTTP request, and in back we are also getting the HTTP response. Okay. Okay. So now this is what, instead of apartment name, okay, we are using here facebook.com. This is the domain name. Okay, this HTTP is the protocol. Okay, there we were using, no. Okay, this is the HTTP is the, so instead of address we are specifying, no, so here we are specifying HTTP. With respect to general example, you just compare. Okay, so instead of address we are specifying HTTP. Instead of domain name we are instead of apartment name we are specifying um, domain name here. Okay, application name. Okay, so inside that, instead of whatever the person p1 p2 like that we are specifying, no, so instead of that we are accessing the particular resource here. Okay, so now tell me the URL for home page. Okay, I want to reach to the home page now. So now tell me the URL for that. hmm. mm, mm, mm. Okay, okay, facebook.com home page. Yes. Okay. mm, mm-hmm, mm. Okay. Yeah. Hmm. Okay. So yeah, correct, Gaurav. Yes, correct. Okay. Peter, Ramanjunaya, Gaurav. Yes, correct. Okay. So this is how we are accessing the particular resource inside the application. Okay. So now, can I use IP address also instead of domain name? Is it possible to access the application by using IP address? Yes. Okay. Okay, yes, okay, we can access I by using the IP address also. Okay, for example, if you go to the CMD, okay, so after going to the CMD, if you want to get any of the IP address, means what you have to do, go to the CMD and give a pink Facebook, sorry, facebook.com. Okay, so if you type like this, you'll be getting the IP address of that particular Facebook. Okay. Hmm. Hmm. Just a different one. Okay, pink mm, mobile.com. Hmm. Okay, so mhm. So if you want to, like, if you want to check what is the IP address of the particular application, just give this command by going to the CMD. Okay, so ping. So I've already taken, it is giving some full address. Statistic maximum. Okay. With aggregate data. Okay, so it will provide the IP address, guys. Okay, now something it is behaving. Okay, so it is provide the particular IP address associated with that particular web application. Okay, so ping, the syntax is ping, and what is the application you need to access. Okay, so this thing you have to take, and you will be getting the particular IP address. Okay, so now how would I write? Okay, so like this, HTTP https double slash, instead of domain name I want to specify the 157 to 40 32 35. Okay, 157 to 40 32 35. Okay, so this is the yeah, very good. Okay, you tried, Peter, by plotting the syntax. Okay, good. Okay, so now, okay, this port number I'm specifying 8080. Okay, login. Okay, we can also access the application by using the IP address also. Okay, so this is a basic, very basic things. Okay, but we'll be very careful in understanding this. Okay, because after that we'll be dealing with all this data only. So now, okay, understood, right? What is this source and what is like a domain? This is the domain and how we are going and how we are writing the URL. So this and all understood, right? How to access the particular resource inside the URL. This is okay, fine, understood, right? Okay, so now we'll understand protocols. Okay, what is protocol? We'll understand it first. Okay, so it is a common language where two application exchange information each other. Okay, so when one application want to communicate with each other, okay, in our case our browser and our server, okay, this need to be a common language which both application can understand each other. Okay, so this language is known as a protocol, where protocol is the set of rules and instruction. Okay, so here mm, 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 mm. Okay, take an example of this. Okay, let's try to understand what is protocol with the by taking this general example. Okay, so protocol is the first parameter in the URL. Okay, for example, if you take a general example also, this how we will be writing address and semicolon apartment. And then we're taking flat 2. Okay, then we are reaching the particular person. Okay, so this is okay. So in this case the protocol we are considering as a address. Okay, so this is providing some set of rules and instruction. Yes, you have to go to the apartment. Yes, after that apartment you have to go to the flat number 2. Yes, after that you have to identify this person. Okay, this is so instructing. Okay, this protocol is instructing. Okay, so now, okay, we will understand it by general example how exactly it is working. Okay, so basically protocol is a common language or instruction. Okay, so take an example. Okay, let's take this example. So this is name is what? Okay, okay, this is one person. Okay, and here inside the shop is one person. Okay, so this person is from France. Okay, so he knows only French. Okay, so he used to speak in French. And this person is from China. He knows only Chinese language. Okay, and this person, you want to go to this shop and you want to buy some mobile. Okay, so he has seen some advertisement and he eagerly want to buy this mobile. Okay, so what he's doing, he's going to the shop and he is asking what is the price for the mobile because he want to buy it. Okay, so what is the price for the mobile? Okay, he's communicating with him. Okay, he's communicating, that's fine, but in which language he's communicating? He's communicating in the French language. Okay, this person is from China and he knows the Chinese and is not able to understand what exactly he is asking. Okay, he's not able to understand only what exactly he's speaking. There is full of star in his mind. Okay, what is he speaking like that? Okay, so in response to that, something is speaking, he's understanding that something is speaking, but he is not able to understand what is it exactly. In response to that, he is also telling something to him. Okay, he is also telling something to him, but he is also not understanding whatever the thing he is responding. Okay, is also not understanding, because he is telling in China Chinese language, is telling in French language. Okay, so both are in confusion. What he wants and what like he also like what he wants exactly, and he also like what he is replying exactly. Okay, so they are in both confusion state. So then they come up with a solution that, okay, are you know English? Do you know English? Okay, we will speak in the English. Okay, so that we both can communicate each other and exchange the information each other without any interruption. Okay, so then they started communicating with English. Okay, so then they can exchange the information, and whatever the for what he has came, so he got the information also, and he provided the response also, whatever the request is specifying. Okay, so this is our protocol. Okay, this is basically a common language. Okay, set of rules and instruction. Okay, so now coming to here. Okay, this is the language is known as a protocol, where protocol is a set of rules and instruction. Okay, browser always sends an a request and receive an a response via HTTP protocol, hence it is called HTTP request and HTTP response. Okay, so whenever we are typing here, okay, whenever we are entering the URL in the browser, internally browser will create one request. Okay, so which that is of what type? HTTP request. Okay, so the browser will create one request. Okay, so in this case my browser and my server or my computer has to understand equally. Okay, because maybe my browser has built in HTML language. Okay, my browser has developed by using HTML language. Okay, so my this my application. Okay, maybe it has developed in some other language. Okay, so how they will understand each other language? Okay, so the middle they need some like a like whatever the language they're speaking, they both has to understand, right? So what it will do, browser internally it will connect or like one create one request, then whatever the request is going to the application or server, so in the HTTP request it will go, and in the response to that it will come as a HTTP response only. Okay, so this is how protocol works. Okay, so in the protocol also um, we have so many type of protocol. Okay, we have a HTTP protocol, we have a HTTPS protocol, we have a FTP protocol, SMTP protocol. Okay, so we will be studying each and every protocol how it is working. Okay, so basically like browser always use HTTP and HTTPS protocols only. Okay, okay guys, understood like how it is working protocol and all. Mm-hmm. Are any doubt? Yes. Okay. Okay. So now in the browser, we are going to use HTTP protocol. Okay. This protocol says if you want to use this protocol, you have to follow this syntax. Okay. So this is how. Okay. So this protocol is a set and instruction. It will be providing some rules and instructions. Okay. If you want to use my protocol, okay. If you want to use my protocol, okay, you have to make use of. Okay. You have to like write like this way only. This is on the syntax. Okay, if you are using the HTTP or HTTPS means you have to follow this syntax, otherwise it will not work. I won't allow you to access any of the whatever the web application you want to access. Okay, okay, you are using my protocol means you have to use this syntax. What is that syntax? Domain name you have to specify, then port number you have to specify, then whatever the resource you particularly want to access, that you have to specify. Okay, so like this it is giving. Okay, so it is telling, okay, if you okay you want to make use of my protocol, okay, okay, happily you can make use, but you have to follow this syntax. Okay, so this is how we are following the syntax. Okay, so now other protocols like HTTP, HTTPS, SMTP and FTP. Okay, so HTTP means hyper transfer text protocol. Okay, HTTPS means hyper transfer text protocol secure. Okay, browser always uses these two protocols only. Okay, so now Now question is that when to use this like HTTP and when to use this hyper like HTTPS. Okay, this is the question. Correct. Mm. So now, okay. So suppose you are accessing the Google application. Okay, you are accessing the Google application. In that, if you want to access the Google search, okay, you are accessing the Google application. Okay, so after accessing, you will get a Google will open. Okay. For example, okay, I'm in incognito mode. Okay. Mm, mm. Okay. So, okay, I'm launching the Google application. Inside that, such tab will be there. Okay. So, if I want to open the Google application and if I want to access that such tab means, okay, so then it's fine, it's okay, like we will be using the HTTP there. Okay, because we are not sending any secure information there. Okay, we are just accessing the resource. Okay, we are just opening the google.com web application. In that we are just accessing the search search tab resource. Okay, we're just accessing that. So simply to access, okay, is that okay? Yes, we can also use HTTP by the time. Okay, no issues in that because we are not sending any secure information over there. Okay, but take an example of, okay, this is a Facebook. Okay, this is the Facebook. We are launching the Facebook, and inside the Facebook we have to specify username and password. Okay, username and password we have to specify here. Okay, so which protocol you will be using by the time? HTTP or HTTPS? Which protocol you will be using? Hmm. Mm, yeah, very good. Okay, so when you want to log in into any of the application, so you are sending some data, you are sending your username and you are sending your password. Okay, so by the time it should be very secure. Okay, we mean, so we should not see whatever the data we are sending in the network. Okay, it should be very secure. Okay, so whatever the data we will be sending should be very secure when we are sending some information. Okay, so when we are accessing the application, if we are sending, okay, if we are doing any activity like that, login into the application. Okay, and if we are entering some any of the, if we are sending any of the data means we have to follow HTTP. Yes. Okay, just if we are like launching the application and accessing the any of the resource inside, that means it is okay to use HTTP. Okay, but if we are sending any of the data, okay, so by the time we have to use HTTP. Yes, because our data should be secure. Whatever the data we are sending should be secure. Okay, so by the time we have to use HTTPS. Okay, best example is login scenario. While login, we are entering our username and password. Okay, okay. So suppose if it is visible in the network and all means, everyone will get to know your username and password, and everyone will start using your Facebook. Correct. Okay, so it should be secure, whatever the data will be sending. So when we are performing like this activity, so we have to use HTTPS protocol. Okay, when we are just accessing the web application, it is okay to use HTTP. Okay, so then SMTP. Okay, simple mail transfer protocol. Okay, when it is used is, take an example of the company. Okay, inside the company we will be having user 1, user 2, and team leader and manager. Okay, so what they are using, they are making use of SMTP, like SMTP protocol inside the company for the internal mail communication. For internal mail communication. Okay, so this TL wants to send some mail to this user 1 and user 2. Okay, you need to assign some work. Okay, you need to assign some work, and you need to want to send some mail to this user 1 and user 2. Okay, what is doing? Okay, when you're sending the information, when you're sending the mail, okay, it is first going to this protocol, then it will go to the particular user 1 and user 2. Okay, so SMTP usually used inside the companies for the internal mail communication purpose. Okay, this protocol will be used for that. Okay, and come to this file transfer protocol when we are using this. Okay, take an example. This is the person 1 and this is the person 2. Okay, so this person 1 has the Google account, Google Drive account. Okay, so this person 1 want to share some files to this person too. Okay, so if he want to share some file to this person too, obviously this person 1 first he has to store that file in the Google Drive. Okay, if he has stored it only means then only is possible to share that file to the person 2. Okay, so what he is doing, first is storing the all the file into the Google Drive. Then after storing it in the Google Drive, then he is sharing that file to the another person. Okay, so in between, while sharing, while storing, and while sharing. Okay, so from the Google Drive, they are making use of FTP protocol. Okay, file transfer protocol. Okay, we will also do the same when we are storing some information in the Google Drive. That information, okay, we will be sharing with the other person. Okay, internally, FTP protocol will be used. Okay, so understood when to use these protocols, and okay, if we are using this protocol means which syntax we need to follow. Any doubt here? Mm-hmm. Any doubt, guys? Mm-hmm. Any doubt? Okay, now tell me. Okay, so now tell me. Mm, 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 mm. Okay, I'm opening the Google. No, no, I'm opening the Yahoo. Okay. 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 Now tell me, I'm opening the Firefox browser, and in that, I'm searching something. Okay, I'm opening the Firefox browser, and in that, I'm searching something. Okay, which is the protocol is which protocol I can use, which is more convenient. Which protocol I can use? Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. Now tell me, I'm opening the Insta application and I'm performing login activity. Which protocol I can use? Okay. Then, okay guys, so what are all these slides I have shown, okay? I will, I will store it in my Google Drive. Then I will share with you guys. Okay. So while storing and sharing, which protocol internally it is making use? Mm-hmm. Okay. So, inside the company for internal mail communication, which protocol will be used? Perfect. Okay. So, understood, right? And okay. Usually, browser will make use of what are the protocols? Mm-hmm. Yes, both it will make use. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So what is protocol? Set of rules and instruction. Okay. And it is telling if you want to make use of my protocol, you have to follow this syntax. Okay. That is how we are following that syntax. Okay. After the protocol, we are specifying immediately after specifying the protocol, we are specifying domain name, then port number, and whatever the resource we need to access. Okay. So, okay. So instead of domain name, I can also use IP address. Is it right to access any of the web application? Okay. Okay. So now it's already 9:12. Okay. Mm-mm-mm. Okay, just quickly we'll finish this and end up the session. Okay, so now domain name. Okay, I think we have already studied this, and again I'm rushing it. Okay, so domain name means the computer or IP address of the computer. Okay, the computer name or IP address of the computer. So in the network there are so many servers available. Okay, in the network there are so many servers, correct? Okay, in the network we have a Facebook, we have a WhatsApp, we have a Instagram, we have a Twitter. Okay, so there's so many applications. There's plenty of applications are there. Okay, so this domain name helps us in identifying the specific computer inside the network. Correct? Am I correct? Okay, there are millions of websites are there. Okay, billions and millions of websites are there. Okay, so in that network, there are so many websites are there. Okay, so in that, which I want exactly to access. Okay, how do I identify that? By making use of domain name only. Okay, if you are if you're not mentioning anything means how it will get to know what exactly we need, what exactly we need to access, how it will get to know. Okay, so this domain name is very important. Okay, mandatory field here. Okay, so by looking into the domain name only, it will identify the specific computer inside the network. Okay, specific server inside the network. Okay, so then okay, port number. Okay, now port number. Okay, understand it is very basic, but understand it properly. Okay, so we will be installing any of the application. Okay, in our local also we'll be installing SQL, or you will be installing Eclipse. We will be installing so many application like a Jenkins, Jira, like that. Okay, so when we are installing, so each and every application will occupy some port number. Okay, so each and every application, okay, when we are installing any of the application in your computer, for example, I'm installing SQL, Oracle, okay, and I'm installing Jenkins, I'm installing Jira, and I'm installing Eclipse. Okay, so when I'm installing any of the application, okay, internally it will occupy to the some particular port number. Okay, so I had to specify where exactly the port number, okay, where exactly it is located, this application. Okay, so all application should be running in a different port number. Okay, so it's not possible any two application to run on the same port number. Okay, so what happens, no question, you can ask me the question. Okay, you are telling that okay, all application will be running in a different port number. Okay, so it's not possible to run same application in the port number. Okay, so what happens, okay, for example, you are installed Eclipse. Okay, now it is running in the 8080 port. Okay, 8080 port. Okay, so when you are installing again one more application like SQL, okay, you are installing the SQL now. Okay, if by mistakenly if you're specifying 8080 port here means it will throw you an error. Okay, so 8080 port is already occupied by one of the application. It's not possible to install this application in this particular port. Please change the port to make use like to like continue further. Okay, so like that it will give you an error message. Okay, it will not allow also to install in the particular port because it is already occupied by the some other application. Okay, so what happens if you make use of two ports in the same two application in the same port? Okay, so every application will associate with one specific unique port number when it installed. Okay, if you install these two application in the same port means when you're accessing this, okay, it's not possible to make use of this application. Okay, because server will be down. Okay, it's not possible to make use of this application because it is already occupied by and it is already using by one of the application. Okay, clear. So port number also used to, for example, here two application is there. Okay, so this is I installed in the 8080 port, and this I installed in the 8081 port. Okay, so this port number is also used to identify the specific application inside the computer. Okay, so the domain name is used to identify the specific computer inside the network. Okay, but the port number is used to identify the specific application inside the computer, inside the server. Okay, okay, clear? Means you like in the street, if you want to identify any of the apartment, means that is domain name. Okay, so inside the domain name we have a like different flats. Inside the flat, okay, which flat you need to go, that you identified by using port number. Okay, understood. Understood, guys. Any doubt? Clear? Respond. Hello. Audible.
Yes,
Mm-hmm. Okay. So someone asked yesterday's class, right?
I missed yesterday's class, ma'am.
Vivek, right? So Vivek, I think they have recorded the session. Okay. So maybe they will be providing you if you ask that. Okay.
There is no any YouTube channel for that they are uploading or something. We have to contact with them only.
Yeah, I think this is a demo session. So the first like a 1 week session will be demo. Okay. Maybe they have uploaded in the YouTube. Just once you contact with a concerned person. Okay. They will help you with that. Okay.
Okay, fine, ma'am.
Okay. So okay, just go through that. If you find any like confusion, if you find any difficulty to understand, means let me know in the tomorrow's class. I will help you with that. Okay. Okay. So okay, understood, guys. This is a very basic informations, but we have to be very much clear in this. Okay. Understood how to access the resource, how to write the domain name, how to write the IP address to access the web application, how to write the syntax of the URL. Clear? Clear all this? And what exactly the port number is doing, clear, and how the domain name is helping, clear.
Yeah, and one more today's session also we will get, no?
Yes, yeah, you will get. Okay, just contact the concerned person, they will help you with that. Okay.
Sure.
mm. So yeah, okay, so thanks guys, thanks for joining. Okay, tomorrow we will connect. Okay, bye, have a great day.